I would like to now share with you a technique I've been playing around with, having some fun with white slip and applying it to a dark clay body. I've been experimenting with mugs. I use a dark clay body, and this one for instance, I stamped and then dipped in this white slip. So you'll end up seeing a lot of this dark clay body shining through, and you'll see where the impressions of the stamp kind of shine through. This one I dipped and then took the outline of Texas and carved through so that the dark clay now will be a contrast against the white slip. So what I've done is I have mixed up from a porcelain clay. We had a bunch of porcelain clay that had dried out, and I just pulverized it. I literally took a sledgehammer to it and got it to a crumbly, just dry powdery state. And then I added water to it, put it in a blender, and got a slip. So that's what this is. And I'm going to pour it into a bucket. It's pretty thin, and I like it thin when I'm dipping it in a mug, because I like to kind of see the drips kind of fall back down along the side. If I'm brushing it on something flat or a platter or something like that, then I like it a little bit thicker. But to do these mugs, I've watered it down quite a bit. The other thing I've been experimenting with is the different dryness of the mug. For instance, I've got a mug here that is pretty hard. It's not dry by any means. It'll definitely receive the slip, but it will receive more than a mug that is, for instance, well, that one's pretty. This one is not as dry. So when it's a little bit wetter, it's not going to absorb as much of the slip, if that makes sense to you. It's kind of like a sponge, and so it's soaking in and adhering a lot of those particles very quickly if it's dry, not so fast if it's wet. So I've got these mugs in different states to see which I like better, and I'm thinking I like the state where it doesn't absorb quite as much, and I see a little bit of that dark clay shining through. So to get the inside, I simply pour into the mug and then pour it back out into the bucket. Again, this is why I'm outside. This is another messy little project. And while this is dripping here, I'll kind of put my placement of my fingers strategically. I won't have them right at the very front because I'll probably end up leaving my fingerprints as part of it. And I just dip it down in, dip it down, pull it back up. It's pretty drippy. Now this is the part that I said I like. I like it when I pull it back over and you actually see that dripping coming down along the side. You'll see more of it once it's been glazed, and once you've got a nice drip on that handle. I like the look of the drip. Here I did not go all the way down to the bottom. I'm going to let a little bit of that clay body be evident. So there's one. I'll set that down. I'm going to do another one. This one I might not do the inside. This one I might just do the outside. This one is also pretty dry, so it's probably going to absorb the clay or the slip pretty quickly. Here we go again, just dipping it down. And now I think these drips are going to go down into the inside of the mug too. I let some of it drip off first and then pull it up. I got a nice drip going down the inside. I don't know if I can show that to you. There it is. I twirled it. So we like that or we don't. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Might clean it up a little bit, but not now. I'll do it later. Let's try one more that where it is not nearly as dry. This one is pretty soft. And am I going to go inside or just outside? Maybe just inside or just outside. It's amazing how it kind of caught there. It didn't drip below the line, and here it did. And then I got a nice little mark on the inside too. All right, I'm gonna try one more. This one I'll go inside again. Inside and then back out. Kind of like glazing. And that's it. This slip can be kind of a fun way to experiment on both three-dimensional surfaces and two-dimensional surfaces. So there you go.